Commercial property investing can be complex, so understanding some of the key terms we use in the industry may be helpful when considering an investment into Australian commercial real estate. So today I'm going to take you through some of the most common terms and explain what they mean. So let's kick it off today with AREIT, which stands for Australian Real Estate Investment Trust, and it's simply a vehicle that owns a portfolio of property assets which are listed on the Australian Stock Exchange, or ASX. They're an alternate to direct property investment and can be used to provide portfolio diversification. An AREIT is diversified and professionally managed and typically a portfolio of real estate assets that enables investors to access commercial, industrial, retail, social infrastructure, service stations, or a mix of these real estate sectors which are not typically available to an individual investor. REITs may either invest in property locally in Australia or internationally, and investors can gain the benefit of any increase in value in the underlying assets and from regular rental income generated from the properties owned. A key advantage of an AREIT is that because it is traded daily on the ASX, it is typically a liquid investment. Acquisition costs are the total costs incurred of acquiring an asset. This may include stamp duty, legal and consultant fees, valuation fees, and any other due diligence costs related to the acquisition of the property. But stamp duty is by far the largest cost, and it works for commercial property in a similar way as it does for residential property. That is, depending on the state, you're typically up for between 5 and 6% of the valuation of the asset in stamp duty costs. Frequently used in the real estate industry, the cap rate, which is simply short for capitalisation rate, is one of the measures of the expected return of an asset. Expressed as a percentage, cap rates are calculated by dividing the net property income of an asset by the market price for the property, or in the case of an acquisition, the acquisition price. So if a property was worth $100 million and it was providing $5 million of net property income, the capitalisation rate would be 5%. A direct property fund is where multiple investors' money is pooled together to purchase property assets. Ownership is shared between investors based on their investment portion, with ownership divided into units in the fund. But the actual investment decisions and what specific property to acquire or sell is ultimately determined by a professional fund manager. Direct property funds generally comprise of a number of assets, creating asset and tenant diversification for investors. Distributions are regular income payments made from the fund to investors. Generally, distributions will be made to investors on either a monthly or quarterly basis, and that's how it works for our Charter Hall unlisted funds. DRP stands for Distribution Reinvestment Plan and is the opportunity to reinvest distributions by purchasing additional units. Often, the reinvestment of the distributions comes with the advantage of being able to obtain units at a discounted price. This happens by way of reducing the unit price for the new units, meaning investors are issued more units for a given sum of capital. Effective rents are rental payments less landlord concessions or tenant incentives that are provided. So these are just some of the many pieces of financial jargon you'll come across in relation to commercial property. I really hope that this short video was beneficial to your understanding of the sector, and thank you very much for joining me.